Dear students, for today's class we are going to study about tuples in Python. Tuples in Python. During the previous class we have studied about lists in Python, basic operations that can be performed on a list, functions and methods that can be performed on a list. For today's class we are going to study about tuples in Python. So dear students, remember that the topics in lists and tuple appear to be same. They resemble each other. A tuple is a sequence of immutable Python objects. Please remember the word immutable here. Immutable Python objects. Immutable means a sequence which cannot be modified, or we cannot change anything. Our television remote control has an option mute. So when we mute, the volume completely becomes zero, and when we unmute, the volume raises to its original standard. So here we are supposed to study about a tuple, which is a sequence of immutable Python objects. So the first thing we are going to learn here is, so here we learn that a tuple is a sequence of immutable Python objects, whereas a list is a sequence of mutable Python objects. So the difference between tuple and list is a tuple cannot be modified, whereas a list can be modified. So here you can see that tuples are sequences and lists are also sequences. Both are sequences, but this sequence cannot be modified, whereas this sequence can be modified. Okay, so that is the major thing we have to differentiate between a list and a tuple. And the next thing we see that tuples use parentheses, whereas lists use square bracket. So here we can see that tuples are in between parentheses and lists are in between square brackets. Both are using commas in between their elements. So the simple definition of a list is a sequence consisting different comma separated values between square bracket, whereas the simple definition of a tuple is a sequence consisting of different comma separated values in between parentheses. Here you have to change the word as list, and here you have to change the word as square bracket for list. The same thing, a tuple here and a parenthesis here. There is somewhat wrong here. Simple definition of a tuple should be here, but it was some typing mistake. So here you can see the definition of a simple definition of a tuple. A tuple is a sequence consisting different comma separated values in between parentheses. Now let us take an example. Look at the example displayed on the screen here. You see that these three are the names of the tuples. The names of the tuples you see here: TUP1, TUP2, TUP3. So this tuple 1 contains physics, chemistry, 1997 and 2000. These two are strings and these two are 4-digit numbers. Coming to the next tuple, TUP2, this contains integers, 1-digit number, and TUP3 here contains 4 characters A, B, C, D, and here you see that these A, B, C, Ds are in between double quotes. So you may get confused that here there are single quotes for a string, but alphabets are in between double quotes. There is no confusion. Remember, this example has been given because to let you know that Python use either single quotes or double quotes for string. Even these double quotes can be placed here and these single quotes can be placed here. There is no difference. Python accepts single quotes and double quotes for strings to be utilized in the program. So here TUP1 there are two strings and two 4-digit numbers. TUP2 there are single digit values. TUP3 there are alphabets here. So any values, any elements can be used in the tuple. Now here we have some certain things to remember, that we can write an empty tuple as two parentheses with nothing in between them. This is called as an empty tuple. An empty tuple is written as two parentheses that contains nothing. And another thing to remember here is a tuple containing a single value should include a comma here. As it is a single value, don't think that no need of comma here. Tuple has been designed in such a way that even though there is a single value, there should be a comma here. So for an empty tuple, the syntax is like this, and for a tuple containing single element, you can see the comma here. Comma is compulsory even though there is a single element in a tuple. Now coming to indexing in tuple, similarly as in list, the tuple index starts with 0. That means the first element in the tuple will stand at the 0th place and the last element of the tuple stands at the total length minus 1. So similarly, the rightmost element, that is the last element in the tuple, stands at minus 1, and the first element, when we see the reverse order, stands at the minus of length in that tuple. So here, since list can be sliced, concatenated and so on, tuples can also be sliced, concatenated and so on. Operations can be done on a tuple. So now this is an important slide on the screen. You see here that how to access the values in tuples. The process of accessing the values in tuples. So to access the values in tuples, we have to use the square bracket for slicing along with the index or indices to obtain the value available at that index. So here you see the value, the name of the tuple TUP1, the name of the tuple TUP2. Similarly, you see two strings here, one is physics, one is chemistry, and two 4-digit numbers. Here you can see that there are 7 digits. The thing you have to remember is physics is at 0, TUP1 of 0. Chemistry is at TUP1 of 1. 1997 is at TUP1 of 2. 2000 is at TUP1 of 3. Similarly, here the value 1 stands at 0th place, 2 stands at the first place, 3 stands at the second place, and so on. We see that 7 stands at the 6th place. So now we are going to access the values using the square bracket, that is the index. TUP1 of 0, this is for the displaying purpose, which has been displayed here, and this is to access the values. TUP1 of 0, physics will be accessed here. Physics is standing at 0th place, so it will be placed here, TUP1 of 0. And here you see that TUP2 of 1 to 5. Here 2 stands at first place 1, 3 stands at second place 2, 4 stands at third place 4, 5 stands at fourth place, that is 5. 6 will not be brought because the range here specifies from and before the address of this value. So here a small what we say confusion. 1 to 5 brings the values only from 1 to 4. It leaves out the 5. Okay. So here 0 brings physics from here, and TUP1 of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 values are brought here. Now, updating tuples. This is the thing to be remembered either if you are asked in Viva. What is the syntax for updating tuples? The answer is tuples cannot be updated, sir. So, the thing we have to remember that tuples cannot be updated, but taking some portions of the existing tuples, we can create new tuples. The most important point to be remembered, tuples cannot be updated since they are immutable. That means tuples cannot be updated, or the elements in the tuples cannot change their values. But there is a chance for taking portions of existing tuples to create new tuples. So we can see the example here. There you can see a value 12 here and 34.56 here, which belong to the tuple TUP1. And we can also see TUP2 there, which is consisting of 2 strings of 3 letters. When we use the syntax to update TUP1 of 0, that means 12 should be replaced with 100. This is not possible because tuples cannot be modified. Tuples cannot be modified. So now this is not valid in tuple. This syntax, as you know, is not valid in tuple. This is not valid. Okay. So now we should compulsory remember that tuples cannot be modified. So, but here you see that there is tuple 1 and tuple 2, but a new tuple has been formed with a name tuple 3, bringing all these values of tuple 1 and tuple 2 here. So when we print tuple 3, you can see that 12 has been brought from tuple 1, 34.56 has been brought from tuple 1, and ABC has been brought here, XYZ. If this would have been TUP3 is equal to TUP2 plus TUP1, then ABC was been printed here, XYZ in the second place, 12 here, 34.56 here would have been printed here. So you understand that this is not valid syntax in tuple. In syntax, this one is not valid. So remember that the tuples cannot be modified. Now coming to the deletion of tuple elements. If we delete one element in a tuple, that means we have modified the tuple. So as we are learning from the starting of this class that tuples cannot be modified, so removing an individual element in a tuple is not possible. But we can remove the entire tuple using the del statement. Remember that an individual tuple element cannot be deleted from a tuple, but an entire tuple can be deleted using the del statement. Here you can see that the name of the tuple is TOP, containing 4 elements, 2 strings and 2 integers. And if we print the tuple here, it prints physics, chemistry 1997, 2000 in the output. And after printing, we have deleted the tuple, so all these elements for this tuple will be deleted. So after this delete statement, if you print TOP, there will be nothing here to display. So my dear students, remember that single element cannot be deleted from a tuple, whereas the whole tuple can be deleted in a tuple. Now coming to the basic operations on a tuple, these basic operations are very similar to the operations that were performed on a list. You can see the plus symbol here and the star symbol here. Generally both these symbols appear in mathematics, plus for addition and multiplication, star for multiplication. But here tuples respond to this addition symbol and multiplication symbol. Addition symbol is meant for concatenation and star symbol is meant for repetition. But remember that the result is a new tuple. They work with plus symbol by combining or concatenating any two lists. Star works as a repetition operator, but the result while using this plus and multiplication operator is a new tuple. It is not a new string. So in fact we have to learn that tuples respond to all the operations on a list. So similar operations can be performed here on a tuple too. So we can see the basic tuple operations here. Ln of this tuple 1, 2, 3 gives the length of this tuple. Length means the number of elements that are in this tuple. So you can see 3 elements here. So the description shows the length here. Now the plus operator being used here, 1, 2, 3 is a tuple, 4, 5, 6 is a tuple. So when the elements of these tuple have been added, the resultant tuple appears here with all the elements. This is a tuple, and the plus operator is meant for concatenation here. Now coming to a string high exclamatory mark into 4. This is a multiplication symbol, but you can see that high is printed for 4 times here as the number 4 is given here. So star is called as the repetition operator. Now coming to in operator, 3 in 1, 2, 3. 3 in 1, 2, 3 gives out either true or false as answer, because it tests whether the element 3 is in this tuple or not. So 3 is here, so it has given the answer as true. If you give 4 in 1, 2, 3, then it gives the answer as false. So in is called as the membership operator. Now coming to for x in 1, 2, 3. X in 1, 2, 3. X takes the value of 1, then takes the value of 2, then takes the value of 3. So if you give print x, it prints 1, 2 and 3 here. This is called as the iteration operator. So just have a look on the screen: length, concatenation, repetition, membership and iteration. Now coming to indexing, slicing and matricing in tuples. So here we can see that Tuples are sequences just like lists, and indexing and slicing work the same way for tuples as they do for list in strings. So let us observe an example to be clear about indexing, slicing and matricing in tuple. You can see that here we see a tuple with all the small 4 letters, and the first capital letter the same 4 letters, and all the capital letters the same 4 letters. Spam all small, spam only the starting letter capital, spam all capital letters. So here remember that this spam is standing at L of 0, this is standing at L of 1, and this is placed at L of 2. 0, 1 and 2. If we come in the reverse order, this is placed at L of minus 1, this is placed at L of minus 2, and this is placed at L of minus 3. While going from the right side, 0, 1, 2. But while coming from the left side, minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. So here you can see the expression L of 2, 0, 1, 2. So this is the output here. L of minus 2, this is minus 1 and this is minus 2. So this has been printed here. L of 1, 2, that means starts at here and goes, since there is no the ending range here. So remember that 0, 1, 2 from the right side, left to right. From the right to left, minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3 will be placed here. Now coming to the built-in tuple functions and methods. As we have learned in our previous class, that was list. Similarly, CMP compares the elements of both the tuples, tuple 1 and tuple 2. The elements of tuple 1 and tuple 2 will be compared using the function CMP. len of tuple, this gives the total length of the tuple, that means the number of elements in the list will be displayed. No need of counting each element. So here the next function, that is maxim of tuple. Max represents maximum value. So here in this function, the element with the highest value will be brought as the output here, max of tuple. The next one, min of tuple, that is minimum value. Here we get the element with the lowest value in the tuple as the output. And TUP, tuple of sequence, converts a tuple into a list. This is, I think, somewhat wrong here. This is converts a tuple into a list here. So compare is to compare both the elements of the tuples. Length gives out the number of elements, that is the total length of the tuple. Max returns the element with the highest value in the tuple. Min represents the element with the lowest value in the tuple, and tuple of sequence converts a tuple into a list. I think we should refer this in the book. So remember, dear students, for today's class we have studied about tuples in Python. After having a look on tuples, try to compare lists and tuples. What are the major differences that appear in lists and tuple, and what are the similar resemblances in a list and tuple? What are the characteristics of a list and what are the characteristics of a tuple? What are the things that are identical in both these things, and what are the things that are different in both these things. So study about lists and tuples and compare both these with your own methods. Thank you for your silent listening. Thank you.